All right. Who's ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons?
That's right. David's definitely down. John,
Lucas.
what's up, buddy? How
Hey.
you doing?
Nice to be here. It has been a ride. I found you guys on YouTube 3-ish months ago at like 11 p.m.
Okay.
Found you two and Cecil after I had YouTubed how to buy an auto shop.
Okay.
Watched your videos until close to 3 a.m.
Oh, my Lord.
Woke up the next day.
It was a fever dream.
Kept,
You're sweating. Oh, and
going.
I had this nightmare.
I
Goofy redneck kept talking at me.
I
You
kept
still have that nightmare, don't you?
I did what most young men do on YouTube. I kept watching videos until my belief in myself was confirmed, and now I'm buying an auto shop.
Oh, man. So tell us a little bit about your background. Let's start with your background.
Sure.
Tell us who you are. Tell us where you came from and how we got here.
Okay. My name's John.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Minnesota.
Okay.
After high school, joined the Marines. Left for boot camp on August 6th, 2001.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
5 weeks later, I did a stint in the Marine Corps. Spent a little time traveling, ended up in Wilmington, Delaware, which is where I live today. In 2012, after graduating college, I started a tech job on Wall Street. And for the last 15 years, I was at a Wall Street bank. I left for a little bit, went to a little startup in the know your customer and bank compliance space, building software for them. We got bought by a big Wall Street rating agencies, and I spent the last 6 years. The product they bought was, when they bought us, we were a $15 million company. When I left in July, we were a $107 million
Holy cow.
product.
Wow.
So I have spent the last 15 years just building software. When I say building software, no, I don't write code, but I was a product guy. I watched your podcast with the Shop-Ware guys, with their developer and their product guy. I was the product guy, the person who kind of like looks at the product, goes, okay, how could this be better? What are our customers saying? And then tries to turn that into a roadmap for the developers to build.
Yeah.
So then I left. I left my job in 2025, and not knowing what I wanted to do, I started thinking about something kind of the auto space. So I initially thought, ooh, you know what, a good idea. I wanted to do a small business.
Sure.
Right. I spent 15 years. I can't say that like whatever I've built for somebody else. I wanted to build something for me.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, do you guys know what Ionic is? It's like gas stations for electric vehicles.
Okay.
It's kind of a brand that's starting to spring up. And I think it's a cool idea. Like, it's tons of chargers. You go there, you plug in, and then there's like a little shop. You know, you can buy food, you can sit down, Wi-Fi, stuff like that, because it takes a little while to charge these things. Then I looked at the electric vehicle adoption rate in Delaware and went, that's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
So then I thought, okay, gas station, right? However, I have watched twice, like, mom and pop gas station, like big corporate national gas station moves across the street and they're done in 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. So I started thinking about automotive repair. And it was still just kind of like this niggling idea in my head. Like, oh, well, maybe. And then I started, you go on these websites looking for businesses that are for sale. I went with one, and it's listed by this a broker, so it's going to be listed in like the nicest light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but this one, even, factoring in for rose-colored glasses, like, this sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So I email the broker, hey, I'm interested in this, just getting out of career in Wall Street, want to do something. sign the NDA, and they send me the CIM, which is basically the pitch deck for the business, and I look at the name of the business. Dempsey's. Well, I know Dempsey's. When I first moved to Delaware, and I was this broke 22-year-old driving my 1995 Plymouth Neon, not even a Dodge Neon yet.
Right.
My Plymouth Neon, my brakes went out as I was driving. And I'm working at this point. I'm not even a bartender anymore. I'm probably like a coffee barista.
Right.
And I limp into the nearest shop I can find, fully expecting I'm just going to get raked over the coals.
Yeah.
And it's Dempsey's. And the service advisor was super nice. They gave me a good price. I got my car back in 2 days. Like, I didn't lose my job. All the stuff when you're broke and your car dies, you start to worry about. Any other auto shop in Delaware, I'm not here.
Yeah.
But because it was that one, because they have a reputation, they've been in business for whatever, and it's like, and because they did right by me when they had, when they didn't have to. Okay, this is serendipity. We're going to do this.
Right.
And, so then you start researching. Well, I don't know anything about cars at all. Nothing. I used to change my oil. That's about as far as we go. I can patch a tire. I changed my brakes once and did a bad job. So it's like, so now you start researching. Okay. And from there, I find the podcast.
Okay.
From there, I find the Institute. Like, I watch literally everything you guys and Cecil did together. Then I find the Institute's YouTube page, and there's like this 57 video playlist.
Yep.
Yeah.
I sit down one night at 6 p.m. I stop at midnight. The next night, 6 p.m., start writing the next one until I've done them all. I watch all the webinars and stuff like that. You guys got me back on Facebook.
Oh, man.
After being off for 9 years. And I came back to Facebook to join the group. David helped me out, got me to Mars. So I was out in Utah for the Mars conference, and now I'm working with the Institute. We're hoping to close on the shop in early November, and that'll be it. That'll be the start of the journey. But I'm trying to learn anything I can learn, like every day. I was just Elijah, who's been on you guys' show before.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Met him at Mars. Awesome guy. And I talked to him, as I said today, I was like, every day I realize a little more just how deep of the pool I am jumping in is. Today, I think he said something like, oh, yeah, I spent like $22,000 on marketing. And I went, oh, boy, yeah, that would be half of my operating capital. So, yeah.
Well, so it's an operating shop, right? So that's definitely a good sign.
Yes. Yeah. Operating shop, going to be 40 years in 2026.
Holy cow.
Yes.
And so and I'm guessing you're going to leave the name. You're going to leave it.
Leaving the name. Yep.
All right. And so you've got Wayne, and Wayne is very experienced in stuff like this.
Yep. He gave me a whole list of questions to ask as we're going through diligence.
Okay. And so let me ask a little bit about that process. Working with him, what's that brought to the table? What's that brought to light? Did you start to realize some things that, hey, we need to be asking these questions? We need to be...
Yeah. So... The thing for me is, so when I was at my last ratings firm, we wound up buying 2 businesses.
Okay.
But it's so much, like, so I walked in thinking, like, I know how to buy businesses, right?
Yeah.
But the scale, right? We're spending $18 million on this company. We're spending 50-something million dollars on this other company.
Yeah.
And you're getting pulled into, like, to help with the diligence part. And it's like, okay, this isn't that.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like talking with Wayne, where he's sitting here saying, he's like going through the numbers, helping me like understand, all right, what should I be looking for? Right.
Yeah.
So he helped me figure out, okay, the shop margins here, this shop not managing their margins super good.
Okay.
Right. Where basically the shop is successful, doing over $1 million every year in revenue. Basically a break-even shop, though.
Okay.
Right? Why? And we start digging into those numbers, and it's like, oh, well, it kind of looks like 40 cents of every dollar that walks back out in parts. Just in parts.
Wow.
Right? And, he's, as I've talked more to the owner and understand what their current like how they're doing things. They pride themselves on like they'll say, "Oh yeah, we do old school stuff." They're fully paper. There's no cloud-based shop management system. There's no CRM. There's no marketing around a couple $100 a month in Google.
Okay.
Right. So it's like he's helping me say like, okay, you need to be looking at this and this and this. And then when I'm like, okay, I want to fix this thing. What's step one?
Yeah.
And the fact that he can answer that question for me, or at least point me in the direction, being like, okay,
sure.
go here, talk to this person,
Right.
and try to help me, like, just point me in the direction. Like, I'm like a cannonball, right? Point me in a direction and shoot, and I'll go. But if I don't know where to go, then
If I don't have that
it's almost a
guidance,
waste.
that little bit of structure.
Yeah.
So did you guys already have the conversation that you're going to lose half your customers early on?
No, because I don't know that that's going to be true, because I'm not changing any of the, like, if it's up to me, right? Most of the customers won't know.
Right.
So that has nothing to do with it. The minute you are going to start pushing your margins up because they're underpriced.
Right.
Okay. So that repair should be $800. They're charging $550. That needs to be an $800 repair. The market requires it to be an $800 repair. So you're going to make it an $800 repair. Well, customer 7 that's been going there for 30 years has never been charged $800. They've been charged $200 because they get the grandfathered in price.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, what happened? Well, we have to keep up here. In order to stay in business, we gotta raise our prices. Half the customers are gonna, they're not gonna understand. They're gonna go looking for somewhere else. What you need to understand, a couple things. Typically, when you break it all down, you look at the entire customer list. 50% of your customers are producing 5% of your total profit. The bottom 50% of your customers, essentially, they're worthless.
Yep. It's the same deal in software development and SaaS. Like,
Yeah. So it's okay to lose those customers.
yep.
From a psychological standpoint, it is jarring to see customer after customer after customer say they'll never come back. I've never been charged this much. I don't understand what happened, what's going on. And even if you're not the person up front, they're going to be like, hey, where's old man Dempsey? He's not here anymore. I took over or whatever. They're going to immediately equate that to, oh, this guy's trying to rake me. Even though they just haven't gone to any other shop and realized that the price of that repair is going to be $800. So you need to be prepared for that, just psychologically, that, hey, I'm going to be fine because half these customers are not making me any money. They haven't been making this guy any money for the last 40 years. They need to go away anyway.
Yeah.
They're just clogging up the pipeline.
Yeah.
So I think I'm lucky in that regard, because one, I was with a company that got bought, and so a smallish, startup. We had a giant pile of customers. We found out, okay, who's making us the most money? Oh, the banks that are buying the most stuff from us, and not the mom and pop law firm that only needs to search the database like 2 times, right? But meanwhile, our salespeople, because, hey, it's easy to get a mom and pop law firm to write you a $3,000 check, they're going to run out and like, oh yeah, hey, would you like to buy more of our stuff? Versus a bank who is going to drag you for a 7-month sales cycle. And I think one of the beautiful things about me when it comes to like, oh man, the customers are saying no and they're leaving. I don't know about, I'm guessing neither of you have never dealt with a Dutch bank. If you want to develop a absolutely awful opinion of yourself personally and your product, get one of them as a customer, because they'll tell you, like, for a place where weed has been legal for that long, they are amazingly uptight. Amazingly up. Like, my Dutch customer, I try to keep things in perspective. Yeah, okay, well, how this should only cost $600. Why are you charging me $800? I'm a product guy, so I'm super good at like coming up with a reason, even if it's not like the reason can be tariffs. Sorry, nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's important for you to be. I mean, I would just be upfront with the customer and say, listen, the prices were
Artificially
just
low.
Yeah, they were artificially low. They didn't keep up with things like inflation. This is just what the cost of the repair is in order for me to pay my bills, pay my staff, and pay myself, and keep the business afloat. This is just what the price has to be. Well, I don't understand. Well, how did he stay in business that long? He was subsidizing your repair with other people's repairs.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And people don't always understand that because, they're looking at it or they're taking it viscerally. They're reacting to the price and not being able to afford it or thinking that they're getting screwed over even though they're not. But I want you to be prepared for that. The other thing too is you got to deal with the staffing situation. Even though everybody's going to be like, yeah, we're on board. This is great. We love you. They're going to leave. They always do. And it might not be that they leave, that you're going to want to get rid of them because they don't mesh personality wise, or they don't see the vision, or they don't understand, or they get tired of dealing with the customers telling them that they're too high a price. They may not be able to articulate the value that you're bringing to the table. So your game plan up front needs to be very, very succinctly, what's my marketing plan? And that needs to start as soon as possible.
Yep.
How much can I spend per month? $2,200 is not a lot on marketing. It's not. It's probably on the low end. How much do you spend?
Somewhere between $7,000 and $15,000 a month, depending on where my ad spends at. Yeah.
7 to 15 is probably more. For $1 million shop, that's probably more in the range where you need to be at. $2,200 is on the low end. And so, you need to look at that and go, okay, I need to dump X amount of dollars into marketing, and I need to dump X amount of dollars into marketing for new employees.
Yeah. So
even if it's just a passive, you're just doing interviews, getting your feet wet. What does an interview look like? And those are the questions you should be asking your coach is, I need a crash course on interviewing, identifying good employees. What should I be asking? What shouldn't I be asking? How long should the interview process go? And then just get comfortable sitting through interview after interview after interview and dealing with ghosting, people that say they'll show up for the interview, they never do.
Yeah.
Or people that accept the job and then never show up for the first day. How do you mitigate all that? Those are all aspects of that for those first like 30 to 90 days. You need to get your feet wet and hit the ground running, because that will mitigate all of the damage that happens. You don't want, because 6 months from now, it's going to be chaos if you don't have this hit on the front end.
Yeah.
You're losing half your customers. You didn't have a marketing plan. Your employees are starting to drop like flies. You don't know how to work on cars. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You need a tech now, and then you end up hiring some yahoo that doesn't know, and he starts breaking every car that he touches, and then you've jacked up the price, but your product quality's gone down, and now you've got a mess.
Yeah.
So just be careful with that. Have those things up front, and you should be fine. You should be fine.
I think you'll be fine.
I
think you'll be all right.
That's it. I have to be. Right?
Yeah.
It's got to work. I've put everything into it, and there's no other option. Right.
Yeah.
So I think I'm lucky kind of in this situation in that the place has been around 40 years. One of the techs has been there since the beginning.
Okay.
So we've got a tech in probably his 60s.
Okay.
We've got a tech in his early 50s.
Okay.
And the third tech has been there for 10 years in his 30s.
Right.
So the two older gentlemen, right, the hope is they're comfortable. Like, my guess, they're playing out the string here. We're just trying to get to the end of the game.
Yeah.
So 50-year-old, 60-year-old tech, do they want to jump ship? Especially, and I pride myself. So when I was when we were growing, after we got bought at my software company, when the software company got bought, the product department was my boss, who was the head of product.
Okay.
He was not really as much a product guy as he was kind of like a salesman. He was the person who would go around, give you a fancy speech, great speech, right?
Right.
So it was him and it was me
Okay.
for a $15 million. And then I got to hire one person, and then we got bought, and I got to hire another. And by the time I left, I had 16 people working for me.
Okay.
So I've been able to build a team. I know how to interview. I can do fun stuff like that. I don't know anything about how to interview a mechanic, but that's why I'm paying for the coach, right?
Right.
So I think I know what it's like to build a team, because I know what it's like to have to replace, to make a couple of bad hires. Where It's like, okay, we gotta turn around on this one.
Yeah.
I am also lucky in that I come to a place where it's all like, y'all talk a lot about firing people. I've learned it must be a lot easier than where it was, where I'm coming from, where it was like, all right, this person isn't working out. Cool. Start documenting stuff, and maybe we can do something in 13 months.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you this. For one, and I believe that scenario you've just laid out is what's going to be the game changer, right? 50 and 60, right? Now they're ready to retire, I'd say.
Yeah.
They're thinking about it.
Yeah.
They're thinking about, where do I go from here? So I think that's highly likely.
You're assuming they've got retirement.
Well,
they'd have 401ks.
But he's right though. That's kind of like golden handcuffs in its own way. They're not going to want to. They're not going to want to step out.
401ks transfer. It's no big deal.
I'm not talking about the 401k. I'm saying the I don't want to start over is the golden handcuffs. I don't want to have to go somewhere else. If I can stomach this and if we can make this work, I'd rather just stay where I'm at. So I think that will be a solid. Now, especially here's the pushback you'll get. Changing shop management software and asking them to document and asking them to put that stuff in when they have it.
Yeah, you're going to start putting in policies, processes.
That's where they're going to push back.
Yep.
And so I think I would take a little bit of a gingerly approach to that, enter that really easily. Do you know what they're being paid now?
Yes.
Is that comparable to the rest of the industry? Can we?
My guess is they're probably, especially the youngest one, for what he knows and what he like. My guess is they're a bit below market. I think it's like 38, 33, and 19 unloaded.
So you've got some room there.
That's on day one. Like the first thing I want them to understand is,
and they're hourly.
Yes, hourly. And then I was like, anything else? I was like, oh, well, they get a bonus. I was like, oh, cool. So it's like the base and bonus plans. Like, no, they get like $500 at Christmas. Otherwise, and I'm like, okay. So day one, the thing I want to get across is my job is to figure out how to pay you guys more.
Yeah.
And I will figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah. For the 50 and the 6-year-old though, they're not going to care. I'm just telling you, they're not going to care. I might be wrong, but there's like 5% chance that I'm wrong. They're gonna be they're a rock. Don't rock the boat.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to work harder than I need to.
Yeah.
The minute you start putting, hey, I need 30 hours a week from you. I need 35 hours a week from you. I need 40 hours a week from you. It's going to become an issue. And especially if you start adding in like, we need documentation. I need pictures. We need to be able to translate that value to the customer in this manner. You're key to that. They're going to go, ooh, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you're demanding this from me. And they can go down the street, dude. And even if it's like, it's not 38 an hour, they get hired somewhere for 30 or 25 an hour, but I don't have to do any of this nonsense. I don't know. I'm just telling you.
That is a possibility. But I think that you fix that by providing as much structure as you can right now and make it, paint the vision for them, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think that the challenge with an older employee like that, right? You take the youngster. The youngster wants to go on a journey. He'll
probably be okay.
Right? Yeah. He wants to go on a journey. He wants to see things improve. He wants to see things get better.
Yep.
Like, hey, I just want to be going.
He's in his 30s.
That's young.
That's young.
That's not young.
That's young.
20s is young. Younger. Yeah. I mean, younger than us.
Vendors.
Oh, man.
Anyone with Team BTS you have a pickup in the loading dock area that is getting ready to be loaded.
Well, that was nice of them.
Well, thanks for announcing that for everybody to hear. Holy crap.
Man, pickup doesn't get towed.
Yeah, I know, right? But no, I think the other two are going to be harder to navigate. The younger guy's going to be a little bit easier to navigate.
The other thing, too, if you've got some people in the pipeline and you've got some system set up where I've got a good ad out there, I'm getting resumes coming in, I'm able to conduct interviews with some consistency.
Yeah.
Even if you don't hire anybody immediately because the first 3 or 4 are duds, whatever. If you've got a pipeline, it'll give you the leverage and confidence to be able to demand what you need to and not worry about them leaving and going, I'm going to be short a tech or 2 techs or whatever because they're going to bounce.
And I do want to hire. So it's a 5-bay shop.
Okay.
5 bays, drive on alignment rack, and then a concrete pad. I would like to hire at least one person within the first 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you've got the room for it, why not? Yeah, absolutely.
So this is one of those beautiful things where it's like, I don't know what I don't know. Some things I hear listening to different YouTubes and people talk, it's like you should have one mechanic per bay. And then I hear you should have, for a 5-bay shop, you should, like, some people say 3 is the max you should have just in case.
That depends on the text that you have in there, because from a pure number standpoint, if you've got the car count,
1 tech per bay.
1 tech per bay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there are two bays, 1 tech. That 1 tech, don't care how good he is not going to keep up from an efficiency standpoint and a production
I
standpoint.
mean, you got to think that bay's worth $80,000 to $90,000. Like 2 bays
gross
would be.
revenue.
And so
Yeah,
like
gross
all of
revenue,
a sudden
yeah.
you're looking at that saying, how can you duplicate 45,000 in that other bay, right? Like if you do it by the numbers, it's not possible. Like I get that they say, oh man, I could hit 80 hours this week. Man, consistently, I don't think
week
so.
in and week out. Yeah.
Yeah.
1, the car count would have to be there, and 2, you'd have to be banging out job after job.
And you're always 1 tech away from crashing and burning.
Yeah. And
Right.
then
Especially if they represent too large percentage of your total production. But even then, I'm sorry, you have to question the quality of the work.
the quality of the work is top notch.
Well, he was
No,
talking about if you put a bay or 2 bays per tech.
Yeah. And the guy comes in saying that I can do 80 to 90 hours a week. It's like, okay, something's getting padded. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's just something, or normally what it is they're just working longer hours.
Yeah.
So they say, oh, I can do 80 to 90 hours a week. It's like, okay, great. But you're working 70.
Well, yeah.
So if you worked 40, you'd be making me 50 hours a week, and that's more reasonable.
Yeah.
I don't want you working 70 hours a week.
Yeah, that's so those are kind of the values that I kind of want to try and get across as I'm jumping into this. I'm not I don't want to be a place where people have to kill themselves to do it. I want to be, and you guys might tell me that I'm insane for this. I would also like to be a place where a young tech can become a young talented tech can become a good older tech, right?
Yeah.
The kind of place one of the things I really liked about what I got to do in my last life was I got to build a team.
Yeah.
And product management, I had to build my team on the cheap. It was all converted operations people and like summer interns.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, take this kid that was here for 10 weeks in the summer and turn him into a valuable person, like a valuable product manager. And it was cool. We actually did that, right? We provided some real value. And it's like you talking a lot about like this industry as a whole. And I'd love to ask you guys like some of the questions around about this. It feels like there's real resistance when you start talking to people where it's like, well, heck, what could we do to bring a young person in and teach them something?
Yeah.
Build some skills for them, even if it doesn't result in them working here for any amount of time. How do we build the next generation of techs?
So I think, so here's the thing, and you've probably seen some of my videos where I talk about this, right? Mm-hmm. And my perspective is, and the whole reason that I stopped doing apprentices is because I was letting them down. Okay. As a leader, it wasn't their fault. It was my fault. And it was because the amount of work that goes into teaching them how to do this, the amount of work that goes into teaching someone how to be a mentor, even if I take them and I put them through an SP2 class on being a mentor and how to teach someone and how to, right? And the other side of that is like, for instance, you look at my shop. Right now we're running 4 techs. Okay. Eric is my lead. And the younger techs, they're great techs. They're wonderful guys, but they depend so heavily on Eric that it's already taxing just to mentor what he has right now to keep everybody moving.
Can I ask, is Eric also fixing cars, or is he more? Okay, so he's got his work and then he's babysitting.
Exactly. Okay. And so the problem is that to generate enough revenue. Now, I think an organization could be big enough to do that, right? But you have to get the organization to where it's generating enough revenue that I could have a foreman that's going around and teaching those young kids, or teaching one young kid at a time and bringing them up. But that foreman should not be a production employee. Well, even then, like if I just paid Eric and just had him as just a foreman with my 4 techs right now, he could spend an hour a day with each tech. That's 4 hours right there. And you imagine we fill the shop the rest of the weekend, he could spend an hour with each tech each day and have a full day worth of work trying to keep them in line and raise them up and get them where we need them to be, right? Yeah. And so what ends up happening, and the reason that I kind of believed in backing away from it, is because it wasn't that they were letting us down, we were letting them down, and we weren't creating the environment and the experience that uplifted the industry in the way that I thought it should be uplifted, right? And to develop a training plan, to develop structure around that in such a way, and then to make sure it happened, right? Napa's got a great training plan for apprentices. They have the toolkit. They have all the training you need. They have a whole system built to bring somebody up out of high school, out of community college, and have them as a functioning tech. But guess what? Somebody has to verify. Somebody has to make sure that's what's happening. Somebody has to quality control the work. Somebody has to invest in that employee to get them there. Now, do I think that's where we have to go as an industry? I do.
Yeah.
Right? I just don't know how.
Yeah. I think the scary thing is I'm seeing this a lot in white collar industry as well. Right. So I left my last job. I didn't leave. I got left. Right.
Yeah.
$15 million to $100 million wasn't enough. I got laid off. I got laid off along with the 5 youngest people on my team.
Oh, wow.
Right. So you're starting to see this now, especially kind of in the AI space, where they keep saying like AI is, these generative AI models, they're replacing entry level things. And you're especially seeing it like in the legal profession, lawyers.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. You don't have to pay a young kid to do legal research and write your brief and whatever else, and you can spend $200 a month at OpenAI and get all the legal briefs you want. I spend the $200. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Where are you in 10 years? Right?
Yep.
Where are you in 10 years without that kid? I think this thing that scares me, and I'd be interested to hear from you guys a lot about, like, I have an idea, like, as I've learned more about this industry, it seems like there are parts of it that are really broken, just from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
And it feels like, okay, there are these broken pieces of the industry, and then kind of these adjacent industries have come along and built scaffolding around them to keep them broken.
Yeah.
Right? I hear like horror stories about being a tech at a dealership. Is it that bad? Yeah. I don't hear horror stories about being a tool dealer at a dealership.
Yeah.
Or a parts person or something like that. And it's like, as I'm jumping into this industry, it's like, okay, well, how do I do my part to make sure that, I'm 40 something years old. I've only got 20 some odd years, that I'm going to be able to do this. How do I make sure that when it's time for me to hand it over to the next thing, I've made it better?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest, most important thing I can do is figure out that part of, okay, how do I make sure that in 10 years, I'm not dealing with a bunch of 40 and 50-year-old techs because I didn't put in the work to train the 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, I think about this. On my block, right? A few houses down from mine, there's this kid. 3 weeks ago, I walk my dog past it. There's 3 motorcycles sitting in the driveway of this family and the 17-year-old kid. 2 of them are obviously just there to put parts into one of them, right? 2 weeks ago, there's a Mustang up on jacks, and I don't know if it's the engine or the transmission. There's a big red thing with a chain, and something in the hood is hanging on the bottom of the chain. I'm assuming the engine, right? There's this 17-year-old kid, 3 houses down from me, rebuilding motorcycles, putting and last week, that thing was driving up and down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that kid.
What you need to be careful with, though, and this is all very nice, but it's like the difference between, hey, I like to draw versus I'm a professional graphic designer.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's a job, a profession, a career. It requires an immense amount of practice. It requires an ability to market yourself. It requires discipline versus I like to draw on the weekends.
Yeah.
I don't know how often and this will become fully real once you start doing interviews, that you will get yahoo after yahoo who has no business being anywhere near an automotive repair shop talking about how I did my own brakes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, great, dude. Great. I need you to be able to do 8 brake jobs a day with consistency, torque to spec. You looked up the service information, everything done with consistency, safely. You would put your own family in this car every single time.
Yeah.
Every single day for the next 25 years. That's a different mindset than I like to work on cars.
Right. But I think the guy you take the graphic designer who has been a graphic designer for the last whatever years and has done all that training. At one point, he was a kid who liked to draw on the weekends.
Sure.
You got to start.
That shift, though, is really difficult. That jump is difficult for a lot of people to make because that hobby could turn into I like working on cars, but man, it can break you very quickly. That same kid then goes to tech school or some kind of vo-tech school. He gets sucked into a dealership. The dealership will break him, and then he doesn't want to mess with the industry anymore, and he ends up leaving and going to work somewhere else. That's usually what ends up happening.
Yeah, that's that scaffolding.
You're not going to be able to compete with the dealership in that funnel. I'm just telling you. Trust me, I was there too. 12 years ago, I was the guy. I was like, I'm going to change this. No. Focus in on your employees and making your shop the best environment for those people and their families, first and foremost. That will impact the industry much more than thinking about, what about all these 20-year-olds? Like, okay, screw the 20-year-olds, okay? I'm just telling you, just screw the 20-year-olds. Because you're not going to be able to even scratch the surface of that mess. The dealerships will suck up these dealerships have 20 plus bays they're filling up with kids. And they are turning and burning them.
Yeah, an extremely aggressive practice.
And you have no way to keep up with it. You cannot keep up with it. What we did is we started a podcast and we tell people, quit working at dealerships.
There it is. They
don't listen. They don't listen. And
swollen veins in the head, the whole 9 yards.
It's like,
there's two things. There's 2 things that cause this. One is they just want an opportunity and your shop will be too small. You might be able to get it too. You have enough space that you should be able to pump out $1.5 million, $2 million a year. You've got enough space. You do. But even at $2 million a year, even if everything was perfectly humming, you are maximizing the efficiency of every single bay that you have. Bringing in some kid to work underneath whoever will slow down that bay. And even if you're willing to take that hit, okay, I'm willing to take a $20,000 to $40,000 a year hit, slowing down that bay so I can improve this kid, plus the kid's salary, plus the additional liability and risk, safety risk, liability. He's going to screw something up, breaking parts. Now you're looking at it from a number standpoint. Is this kid's going to cost me $50,000+ a year in a $2 million shop just having him be there so I can feel good about improving the industry. That's one kid.
Mhm.
And then behind that one kid is 100 more going to the dealership that are going to get screwed.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, you're not going to be able to scratch the surface.
No,
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't try, but the way you can impact the industry is by making, don't get sucked up into the how do I say this diplomatically?
I don't think anyone expects a diplomatic response.
Low
from
oil
you these
change
days.
price, pre-diag, churning the bay business model.
Mhm.
You're going to show up to these conferences.
And they make a lot of money.
They make
right?
a lot of money.
They make a lot of
You're
money.
going to see the boats. You're going to see the Corvettes sitting outside their brand new $750,000 house they just built for themselves with a pool out back. They're out on vacation while you're at the shop working. Meanwhile, the guy's flying his private airplane, talking into the camera, making YouTube videos on leadership and business coaching and all that nonsense. And you're thinking, man, they've got something going. They are building all that on the backs of that 25-year-old
yeah.
who they don't give two flips about. He's just a number. They'll do the Christmas parties and the handing out the free TVs, and they'll do the whole dog and pony show. But at the end of the day, they don't care. And all I'm saying is just be careful, don't turn into that. And if you don't turn into that, because there'll be the temptation, trust me, it's there. If you don't turn into that and you care about your people, I'm going to make this the absolute best place to work at in my area, people that want to work here because I provide a great work environment where we can all succeed together. And we keep up with training and we keep up with the industry and we're bringing in new technology and all of that. That will make a much bigger impact than worrying about the 20-year-olds or that 17-year-old kid. Hopefully things work out for him and he ends up being a great tech, maybe. But I'm just saying statistically, it's not likely.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, I can't save them all, which is why I don't rescue dogs anymore. But so the coolest, my legacy at the last place I worked at won't be that I built this big thing. It's the 10 people that
Yeah.
Yeah, and
remain-
that's exactly the
they're
way you
going
need
to
to
walk
be.
out into the rest of that organization and others because we did it differently and we did it better, and it changes from
We gave
there.
a shit about our people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
Which is you hooking up with the Institute. I'm just telling you, I know they sponsor the podcast and stuff like that. And Lucas is going to get mad at me because it's going to sound like an infomercial. It's not. I'm just telling you, they approach things from that mindset.
Yeah.
Because the guy who started the flipping company has that mentality that I want everybody to succeed. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
It's a core value. And I'm just telling you, that's not everybody. That's not every coaching company. That's not the mindset of everybody. It's unique. It's different. It just is. Too many of them are, no, let's get you paid. You're the one taking the risk.
Yeah.
You're the one that risked your whatever money you have and your family's financial future to build this business. You need to get paid.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. And that's true. I mean, to a certain extent, but at the same time, I'm not going to step on the backs of anybody to do it. So just be careful. The temptation is to go down that road. The temptation is going to be to try to save too many people. There's got to be a balance somewhere in there. I haven't found the balance. I'm not saying that I have it figured out. The other thing too is I was going to tell you this before we finish up here because we got a little bit of time left. Watch Josh Parnell's podcast. It's a lot about leadership and stuff like that, and I find the whole idea of leadership absurd. But I do.
I'm kind of with you.
The guys that he has on the podcast that are supremely successful, they take what they do unbelievably serious. Okay. I was watching one that he did, and the guy is talking about he had gone to a ratchet and wrench conference. You watch this podcast? It's beautifully produced, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know who the producer is, but the guy,
He does a fantastic job. Anyway, so
it's also known as David.
no, it's not. Braxton does all that. It's all Braxton. Anyway, he's on this podcast and he's talking about going to a Ratchet and Wrench conference and he was struggling. He's in the Chicago area. He's struggling. He cannot pay his bills. He shows up and he sees all these shop owners just killing it. $6 million, $10 million, 15 store operations. I have 150 employees. We've built this culture. We love each other. There's a heart in the logo of the flipping company and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, if they can do that, I can do that. And he's telling the same story. Everybody tells the same story, and you just get tired of listening to it. But what struck me in particular is he's sitting in his office, and behind him is this giant like whiteboard. And he's got all these numbers drawn out and these bullet points, and he has mapped out what the company is going to be doing, the numbers present, what's our strategy, how are we going to move, what are we going to do moving forward. He is taking this business seriously. If you can sit down and do that, if you can say like, this isn't just, it's not just something that I built or a hangout place. Ultimately, I think what holds me back the most is I just cannot take myself that seriously. Everything's too much of a job for me.
Yeah.
Everything's too goofy for me. I'm too goofy myself. I cannot get in front of people and BS them towards this certain goal. Like, we need to hit $1 billion. I just can't do that. I just can't do it. I just find the whole thing absurd. If you can take yourself seriously enough that you see the benefit in strategizing, in executing the plan that you've put together with your coach, in ensuring compliance, and holding people accountable, if you can do all of that, you will be fine, regardless of what my rantings are. Don't do this, don't do that, whatever. You will be perfectly fine. And you seem like the thing that I heard in particular is, give me a direction. I'm going to put my head down and go. And you know who was like that?
Who?
Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle Logue.
Yeah, for sure.
Did we ever have him on the podcast?
I don't know. I've talked to him a couple times about maybe we do it now.
Kyle Logue was a shop owner out of Massachusetts. He thought he had his stuff figured out. He was doing $300,000 a year. Turns out he lived like his monthly expenses were like $500 a month. And so the fact that he was bringing in $30,000 in revenue, even if half his bills were going at, bringing in $5,000 to $10,000 a month that he could pocket because he had no bills, he thought he was like living high on the hog. He had no idea. By the time he leaves, dude's doing, I don't know, $100,000 a month. He had built the business up, just putting his head down. I know the direction now. And he just executed, with pinpoint precision, executed everything he needed to do to make sure, and then ends up selling the business, buys another business. Now he does like Taekwondo.
No, he sold that too.
Or did he?
Yeah, he's moved on to something else now.
No, he bought another one. He sold the first one he did.
No, I'm just saying, just like a couple months ago, I talked to him and he was already switching again. He was already.
Now he just buys and sells businesses. Anyway, whatever he interests in. Plus he owns rental house. The guy's just unbelievable. But what the difference between him and people that just don't quite make it is he doesn't go down that path, put his head down and just go. And the fact that you can do that is going to be so beneficial for you.
Yep.
And if you can take yourself seriously and go, this is a business. This isn't a hangout.
Right.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I got David to say I'd be fine.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I
hey,
think
look,
you will.
you're in good shape now. Like, nothing to worry about. And I think he's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think in a lot of ways he's right, because I see that about him. And I see that the reason he's never pushed the shop any farther is truthfully because he doesn't really want to. Right? Like, he's happy with what it's doing right now. He's not interested in
I'm not happy with it, but I also don't want to do the work to fix it either.
Right.
Like, I see the amount of work that's required and I go, ugh.
And I think that
You have to show up for meetings every week. No, no.
I think that you have the leadership in the institute that can guide you and can get you there. I know, there's unknowns and there's variables going into this at this point, right? We don't know what's going to happen with the employees. It'll be all right, right? The thing is you want to make sure you take care of the clients while all this is happening.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think if I were you, one of the most valuable things I've ever heard somebody say about shop ownership, said the most powerful seat in the place is a stool in the middle of the base on a swivel. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, just spin around and watch. Just watch. Just pay attention to what they're doing. Paying attention to the process. Where can I trim up? Where can I trim the fat? Where can I make us more efficient? Just pay attention for a while. And I think that's also extremely beneficial in this case, is once you make that transition, go and watch and see how they're doing it right now. Because it'll keep you from rocking the boat, right? And you don't want to rock the boat too much right away.
Yeah.
You want to give it time to kind of mellow out. We can start fixing the numbers little by little, but right now you've got revenue. You've got something that's working right now.
Yeah.
And so it may not be what you want. I'm just saying, don't jump in there and try and throw all the change to it all at once.
No.
Watch it for a while, plan it out, and then start making the small changes.
Yep.
Right? Because here's the way I see this. You go into that shop and you don't even try to change the SMS right away. You go into that shop and you say, hey, listen, guys, I want to really make sure we're getting you paid what you deserve to get paid. I want to make this a really great experience for you guys. And you just start tightening up little efficiency things, very small tweaks, a little bit at a time, things that don't impact the staff, things that don't have a major impact on the clients right away. And just little by little, they see the improvements. They see what a small change can do for the business. Right? You go in there and you jack the prices up overnight. You know what they're going to do? Oh, all this guy cares about is the money.
Yeah.
Right? And so if we can navigate around that in a more tactful way and we can make those adjustments very small to the point nobody notices, you'll slowly get those numbers in line. You'll be stacking capital back. You'll be having some money coming in. And so you don't take the risk of like causing an upset overnight. We can work our way into it and we can build some because like what is it that we need? We need trust from them, right? They have to trust you. If they're going to stay, we have to build trust. And that's how you do it. Very slow, repeated actions that they can see you over and over again, showing up and doing what you said you were going to do. If you can do that, you will make a dramatic impact in their lives and they will be more likely to stay.
I don't have that kind of patience, though.
Yeah,
I don't have that kind of patience. I don't.
We know.
I want to fix it tonight, like right now. But I will say this: you can start immediately making an impact and start changing things, so you can scratch that itch because you're going to walk in there and be like,
Yeah.
I got to fix this, and this. At least that's how I am. I walk in and I'm like, I got to fix all of it. I want to fix all of it right now.
Yeah.
But the easiest way that you can make an immediate impact that scratches that itch and it doesn't alienate anybody, clients and customers, is to clean. Immediately start cleaning.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
everything.
Soap,
lights, paint.
Yep.
That's it. And everybody will want to jump in and, hey, we haven't cleaned out the corner of this shop. And hey, what's this? I walked into a shop, that place in Nebraska. I walked into a shop and immediately walked in and just for the day I observed, okay, the place was, the guy was making just enough money that he didn't get too uncomfortable, but he also wasn't making nearly enough money. And his wife was driving him crazy because she wanted to make more. And she saw that, hey, this business should be making a lot more money. But the owner's like, we make enough. But the first thing I did when I walked in there, I didn't like mess the schedule. I didn't mess whatever. I just observed. Step 2, though, was let's clean this place up. This place is a mess. The shop's a mess. The front end's a mess.
Smells bad.
It smelled bad. Yeah. Like, how often are we cleaning the mats out? Oh, I don't know. It's like, get a mat service. Have them come out once a week and replace the mats. Mats are always fresh. Like, let's get the trash picked up. Let's get the piles of paper moved. Let's organize it and start putting it away in files. And in the back, no joke, I found a welder from like 1929.
Holy cow.
And I asked him, like, how old is that thing? He's like, oh, I don't know. The thing said like 1929.
Holy crap.
On there. And he's like, yeah, I bought that from an old farmer. I was going to fix it up. And the guy had created like these like storage areas in his shop This shop should have been pumping out $4 million a year, easily. Even this little podunk town in the middle of Nebraska, he could have been doing $4 million a year. He was right next to a dealership. He could have been stealing every single car that walked into that dealership. It was like an old school Midwestern, old dealership, just like tiny dealer, but still. And it's just like it was a farming community too. These farmers have money. Like he could have been making so much money, but instead, all of his shop was taken up by like old Dodge 360s laying around that he was going to hop up one day, and he bought them 20 years ago, and they're just still sitting there. You're going to walk into that shop, and you can immediately start cleaning, and everybody's going to be like, "We've never cleaned the corner of that shop." Like, well, we don't want it looking like this.
Yeah, for sure. And when they see the owner back there doing it.
Yeah. You sitting there rolling your sleeves up, cleaning, wiping things down, moving things out. Let's throw that out. Let's throw that out. Everybody's going to jump in and is going to participate in the cleaning. That's immediately going to lift everybody's mood up.
Yeah, really.
Because it's going to look bright and nice. And all the lights, if you don't have enough lights in there, immediately get them installed in. Get an electrician out there. I want light there, and there.
Yeah.
The place is going to look brighter, cleaner.
For sure. If it doesn't have AC, try and get some
on the list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, AC is a big expense, but even if you can't afford the AC up front, lights, cleanliness, paint, that will immediately make an impact. And in their minds, I don't work at the same place anymore. And they will immediately be receptive to change. They know walking in there, it doesn't look like it did yesterday. I helped clean this place up. What's the next step, boss? That's how they take it. I'm just telling you, it works every single time.
Yeah.
The ones that don't say that, what's the next step, boss? What else can we do? What else can we change?
Yeah. Those are the ones
that are like, whoa, I'm not going to be able to hide in the corner anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you this story. When I worked at a parts store, I got transferred to the store. The guy, the shop owner or the shop manager had been stealing from the store. He was doing warranty fraud and was pocketing the money. So they ended up firing him. This town was very cliquey. Like if you weren't from this town, you were an outsider. Like, what are you doing here? That kind of thing. It was weird. These people are weird. I hate that town. Anyway, so there was a driver that found it acceptable to, whenever he was in between deliveries, had built a chair out of boxes of brake clean cans. And that's where he sat. He had built like a little throne of boxes of brake cleaner.
At just one place?
No, at the back of the store.
Okay.
And so whenever he would come in, like when you're done delivery driving, the delivery drivers are supposed to clean and organize, check for deliveries, and then put away stock. That's what your job is. I'm paying you the whole time. It's not let's hang out.
Got it.
It's go put away stock, because we got stock deliveries every single day. He didn't want to do that. He's like, I'm too old for that. So he built himself a little throne, and he would just sit on his throne, and he would just wait for this next delivery. I'm getting paid to deliver. Needless to say, he didn't make it.
Yeah.
Everybody else jumped in and started cleaning and organizing the minute I walked in, because that's the first thing you do. We're going to clean and organize. The place was a wreck, disgusting wreck. Hey, we're going to put up new shelving. Let's move this over here. Let's start cleaning and organizing so we have a nice store to walk into every single day.
Yeah.
He did not want to participate. That was your red flag. Ooh, he's not going to stick around. I'm pretty sure I can get rid of him in the first 30 days.
Yeah.
He was a little harder to get rid of than I thought.
Why was he harder to get rid of?
He knew the policy book well enough that he knew what I could write him up for and what I couldn't.
Oh.
And so he would try to skirt. What I was able to fire him on was eyewitness. He had a cell phone out while in the delivery truck. That was enough. I just caught him.
Gotcha. Hey, it works.
That was sneaky. All right.
John, thank you for being here.
Gentlemen, it was a pleasure.
We're going to do a follow-up in a year?
Yeah.
Is the plan? You'll be back here in a year?
Tell me to be here, I'll be here.
What do you think of the classes so far? I got to ask.
Awesome. Like,
awesome.
I can't stress the level of stuff I don't know.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was able to stand up in a class, despite the fact that I was embarrassed and know I was going to get a good answer and seriously ask, somebody tell me what the difference between a service writer, a service advisor, and a service manager is. Right. And instead of like being laughed out of the room, people just answered it. Like this is
That's
as
awesome.
a community, this is like nothing else I've ever experienced. It's you sure as hell don't get it in corporate America.
That makes our day, buddy.
Right.
Appreciate you.
No, that's cool.
Thanks, guys.
All right.